I hear that goddamn cicada. What is this game about? Killing everybody. Everybody dies. Wait. Oh, I think I was supposed to press load or continue. Oh, continue. Alright. Did I watch the anime? Nope. I'm full raw, brand new to Higurashi. Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, let me pull myself up here. Okay. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. And to top it off, that pesky mom of mine pushing a return journey errand on me just as I'm trying to leave the house. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Okay.
ケイちゃん遅いぞ。
悪い悪い。責めるのは夕べの面白かった特番に行ってくれ。
ほう。女の子との待ち合わせに遅刻して言い訳がそれってわけ。
You got a gun in the OG version? Wait, what the fuck she does? Why does she have a gun? What the hell?
ちゃんだって今来たばかりなんだよ。
ゆうべの密着24時間面白かったしねえ。
She was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rena really did make a picnic.
ケイちゃん、あの後レナ大張り切りだったらしいよ。
別に俺がけしかけたわけじゃないだろう。
そんな大変じゃなかったから気にしないでよね。
ゆうべから今朝まであのテンションらしいよ。責任取れんの？
わかった。俺も男だ。責任は取る。
責任ってなんだろう。
As we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunch boxes. What's up, Kiganami? Except this was Rena we were talking about here.
2キロくらいかな。
レナね、荷物持つときよっこらしょって言ってた。5キロ。
それはオーバー。ケイチくん男の子だからきっといっぱい食べるだろうと思ってたくさんね。もう行こう。よっこらよっこ。
Shit, what should I eat for dinner today? This is making me hungry. Hold up. Quick sidebar. Fuck. Pizza does sound good. Pizza do sound good. Pizza do sound good. Babe, you want some pizza? Okay. Lily and I are having a pizza party. Fuck you, chat. No pizza party for you. Yes, sir. Let's see. Okay. I want Papa John's? I don't want Papa John's. You can order Papa John's. I ain't eating that sloppy shit. I'm ordering my own pizza then. I ain't not eating Papa John's. Not in this household. We don't do that. We don't do no Papa John's around here. I'm a bigger jackass. Papa John's is ass, okay? Babe, you could order your Papa John's. Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only thing in there were lunch boxes.
訂正
What are you getting
俺
it
も
from
5
then?
キロ
I'm getting for California Pizza Kitchen. CPK, baby. Nah, don't say ew. It's 10 times better than Papa John's. It is 10 times better than Papa John's. All right, relax.
手伝いはするけど全部食べるんだからね。
Okay, fine. I'll eat CPK then. Oh, okay. I already ordered. Or add any extra, babe, if you want something.
レナを悲しませたら許さないよ。
Yeah, Lily usually gets the kids' pizza. Yeah, babe, add the kids' pizza. The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Add my kids' pizza? I'm busy! Add it for her?
Pineapple belongs on pizza.
Oh, Lord. It's trying to fucking start a war. Hang on. I'm adding. You want the kids mushroom pepperoni sausage pizza? Yes? Okay. You want a kid's milk with it? You little baby? Goo goo gaga? No, I want apple juice. Okay, she wants the kids apple juice. Alright, there you go. Alright, boom. Really went cuckoo gaga. She's ordering the kids pizza, bro. Alright, there we go. Okay, boom, boom. Alright. Yeah, she wants a kid's meal toy with it. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around.
こんにちは。
こんにちは。あら、そちらは。確か、前原くんだったかしら。
Oh my god, bro. This random village is hot as shit. Damn. My two companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerbys even knew my name.
なんで俺ってこんなに有名人なんだ
We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid.
悲しいかな。ひなみ沢は人が少ないからね。
つまりなんだ知らない顔が歩いてればそれは自動的に新しく引っ越してきた前原さんってことになるわけか
うん、そういうことになるね。
It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. Is this Boku no Pico? I don't think Boku no Pico has a visual novel. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. Today, I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore. I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare.
もちろんわかるよ。最初に会ったのが牧野林店の竹蔵おじさん。趣味は盆栽と尺八なんだよ。
次が乾物屋の次男の大輔くん。趣味は狙撃で将来の夢は超永久スナイパーだとか。
Daisuke-kun?
それで今の人は入江診療所の看護師の
Oh shit, she was the nurse. She's a hottie.
趣味は野鳥の観察と撮影だって。
すれ違った全員の名前までわかるのかよプロフィールまで
What the hell did Lily just type? Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter.
はあね。ここいらは都会みたいにご近所付き合いが希薄じゃないからね。
試しに聞いてみよう今ここにいる俺は誰だ
前原圭一くん 地悪なこと言うけど本当は優しいテレ屋さん。
転校してきてようやく3週間。趣味は昼寝。最近トランクス派に転向
What?
したよね。
もういいもういい。
How the fuck does she know that?
トランクス。
それもいい。
What the hell is Lily typing? Apparently, there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with.
これじゃあさ、俺のための案内ってより俺のお披露目みたいだな。
そうだね。うちらさ、これだけ賑やかに練り歩いてたからね。みんな思うんじゃない？ケイちゃんもひなみ沢に馴染んでくれたんだって。
ひなみ沢は過疎だから村中みんなが新しい仲間を歓迎してくれてるの。
Why is it shrinking, huh? I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved in a city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again the same way.
あらこんにちは。仲良しそうでいいわね。
藤島さんちのおばさんだよ。こんにちは。
あら前原くん、両手に花でいいわね。どう？生活はもう慣れた？
Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was.
グッド。
Good though. As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink.
でね、そろそろお昼にしないかな。
Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other.
俺も男だ。努力はする。
What?
だが量が多すぎる。
よしケイちゃん、ここはおじさんに任せなさい。
Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class
レ
representative.
ナ、どうせ食べるならさ、見晴らしのいいところで食べない？
それいい。賛成。
Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Oh yeah, I think Rena's gonna die first. She's too innocent. Oh shit, what's happening? Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling.
ここはね、古出神社っていうの。多分見晴らしが一番いいところかな。
Furude? It's probably the place with the best view around.
ここの場所、よく覚えといてね。もうすぐここでお祭りがあるんだから。
へえ、祭りにしちゃちょっと早いシーズンだよな。
綿流しは夏祭りじゃなくてね、昔は冬の終わりを喜ぶお祭りだったらしいよ。
I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Someone killed that cicada!
弁当を広げてっと。
Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious, but is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get this all down, you
こ
know?
んにちはです。
What the fuck are they wearing? Stupid ass fucking. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see, this was her secret plan to power in numbers. Bro. She looks like she's ready to square up, bro. She's like, she's in a power stance right now. What the hell? You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty.
騒がしいから来て
Oh
みれ
wait,
ば。
yeah, let me
こ
get
れは
off of
何
it.
ですの？
Ah, shit. Let's get off of that.
見りゃわかるだろ。これからランチタイムだ。
lunch
ビュッ
time.
フェスタイルだ。レラの手作り弁当に舌鼓だ。
そんなの見ればわかるでございますわ。
Satoko, you're gonna die first, motherfucker.
どうして人様の庭でご座なんか広げてますの？
神社は公共の場所だぞ。勝手に独占するな。
圭一の言う通りですよ。みんなのお庭にしますです。
くー、やっぱりリカちゃんはいい子だな。座りな、そこ。一緒に食べよ
After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Sakoto. Or Satoko.
ちょっとお待ちなさいな。
Yeah, fuck you, Satoko. Go eat somewhere else.
私はどこに座ればいいんですの？
No space.
う。お
Sorry.
前に座る場所はないし、食べる分もない。
Ooh.
大丈夫だよ。さとこちゃんの分もちゃんとあるから。
ない。サトコの分も俺がいただく。
Ooh.
そんなことは許せませんの。リカ。はい、お箸です。
No. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other.
いやはや、ケイちゃん乗せるのうまいわ、ほんと。
は？
才能あるのかもしれない。
はい、お皿。みーちゃんもリカちゃんも。
Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates.
僕たちも頑張らないとなくなってしまうです。
そうだね。参戦と行くかな。
いっぱい食べてね。
Holy shit, Oofy, thank you for a huge raid. Hope you had a great stream. Welcome, Raiders.
ちゃんとみんなの分あるから。
Playing Higurashi. Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. Oh,
そ
what the
のハ
fuck?
ンバーグは渡しませんわ。
Man, I guess these don't have alternative artworks.
いや、肘は反則だろう、サトコ。
襟首をつかむのも反則でございます。
Who the fuck is breedable as Scofier or Ponsu, bro? Who the fuck was this? Sus. Hmm.
最後のミートボール。
校長サトコ、破れたり。
Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. Huh? This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. Uh-oh, why is it not gonna stay like this? The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh.
日本語ってやつはさ、どうしてこう味に対する賛辞が少ないんだろうな。
食事中の団らんって考えがそもそも近代に入ってからだからじゃない？
昔の人は無言で
Is the
食事を
story
済
of the
ませ
anime
た
and
そうだ
VN
し、
the same? I didn't watch the anime, so I have no idea. This is my first time.
作る人もちょっぴり寂しかったろうね。きっと昔の人は食べるのに忙しくて味を褒める暇もなかったのですわ。
That's just you.
でもね、美味しいの一言だけでも嬉しいよ。苦労の甲斐があったかなって。
She blushed a little as she said that.
美味しいです。
With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence.
は？
After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. What the fuck is she doing with her hands? Wait, the face is so much better on this remake.
リカちゃん、お持ち帰りじゃなくて。
What if Rena's been talking about taking people home because she's gonna kill them?
ありがとう。本当に美味しかったですよ。
Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it.
リカちゃんには褒めてもらったお礼に、じゃあこれをサービスね。
Two apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. Oh?
なんだよ、サトコ。その挑
This
戦的な
fucker
目は。
again.
皆さんにはレナさんのリンゴを獲得できるだけの賛辞が用意できまして。
強気じゃんよ。ボキャ品のあんたにどんな賛辞が思いつくっての？
Damn.
ではご覧あそばせ。
After Satoko flashed Mion at me with a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly.
レナお姉ちゃんのお弁当、サトコも美味しかったよ。
Satoko looked up at her poutily while talking cutesy. Jesus Christ. Wow, how was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is Rena Limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Rena. Of course, that was... Why does Rena sound like Fuamoko sometimes? Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her. Glomped?
かいかい。サトコちゃんもかいよ。お持ち帰り。はう。
Swish, stab, push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rena. That's unfair to think she had such a trick.
悔しければレナさんにご褒美がもらえるような賛辞をお考え遊ばせ。
Damn it, that was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise.
サトコ、それで勝てたつもりとはね。あんたらの底の浅い技とはわけが違うものを見せてあげようじゃない。
それは頼もしいぜ、ミオ。それはどんな技なんだ？
やるのはケイち
はあ？
見せてもらおうではございませんか。豊島のあがきを。
The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly,
本
perfectly.
当に美味しいよな。これってさ、全部手作りなのかい？
実はね、これ。
じゃあ、レナの手作りのって。
Oh my
どれ
god,
だい？
he's doing the same thing again.
その、恥ずかしいな。
Keiichi's a one-trick
教えなき
pony.
ゃダメ？どうしても？
From the synergy of boy plus a handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into
わ
euphoria.
かるよ。これでしょ。
Rena turned an even deeper shade of red, the words "I can't believe it" practically written on her face.
なんでわかるかな？レナの手作り。
Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher.
レナの匂いがしたから。
Oh. What just happened? Rena's face, still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did. Yeah, did someone use Zawardo?
レナの手作りのリンゴのウサギさんが食べたいな。なんて。
Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then at that moment, it was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits.
食べてねケイチ君。いっぱいあるんだよ。
Hwark? What? Instantly, dozens of apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over.
はい、してケイチ君。
My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing, one apple after another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples.
ほうははほほへはきほはきは。
ケイちゃん殉職見事なり。どうよサトコ、うちらの完全勝利だね。
こんなんて信じられないですの。悔しくないもん。
Satoko grounded her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something.
リカちゃん、食べないの？塩水強すぎたかな？かな？
Uh-oh. Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do.
うさぎさんがかわいそうです。
Bro, I keep thinking something bad's gonna happen, but it's just more cute scenes. What the fuck?
助けてあげてほしいです。
I'm just too used to visual novels where people just die. Oh. That was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose. Oh my god, it's baiting me over and over. Like, okay, bro, it's just oh my god. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck, what just happened? But then it's just like a nosebleed.
かいよ。今夜こそ絶対本持ち帰り。
She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Get used to their presence so that they can then slowly be picked off one by one. Then coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip, and fixed them back up on a plate.
これでみんな寂しくないよね。これリカちゃんにあげる。ね。
Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbit shoved to her. She whispered,
僕たちが勝ちましたです。
Fucking, what?
逆転負け。
ほほくやもいよ。
Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Yeah, she has a gun for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't know guns were really easily attainable in Japan. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly.
じゃあね、レナにケイちゃん。また明日ね。
ミオ、今日はありがとな。楽しかったぜ。
また明日ね。
Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion, and it ended with just Rena and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home.
ケイチ君も今日は付き合ってくれてありがとう。楽しかった？
ああ、楽しかった。まだ家に帰るのが惜しいくらいだぜ。
じゃあさ、
Oh.
ちょっとだけ寄り道してもいいかな？
Oh no.
寄り道？遠いのか？
ちょっと歩くけどすぐ済むから。
Don't do it! Don't do it, Keiichi. She's gonna kill us! Since we have been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena, I quietly nodded. What the fuck? Where are we going? Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, What looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off toward the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper. Why does she want to come here?
今日は久しぶりだから何かあるかな何かあるかな
久しぶりってレナのようはあのゴミの山かよ。
ゴミじゃないよ。レナにとっては宝の山だもん。
Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers, so that means there was something cute here. Oh, a cat?
わあ、新しい山だ。
Probably a cat or something.
ワクワクワクワク。
Anya? She descended the unstable slope with ease. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl.
おい待てよ、今行くから。あったたたた。
My city-raised self was completely pitiful.
いいよ、ケイチ君はそこにいて。すぐ済むから。
Rena kindly declined my accompaniment.
転ぶなよ。足元に気をつけろよ。
大丈夫だよ、大丈夫。全然平気。
Literally bounding among the heaps of trash, Rena disappeared from sight. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Rena around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Oh my god, title. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. Who the fuck is this? And why can't I Q? Or P, sorry. Oh my god! Ew. Yo, damn! He was kind of juiced in the remake. God, he looked fucking stupid here. His body was tanned and fit, but something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case.
おっと、びっくりした。
The fuck's he doing here? Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line.
驚いたのはこっちですよ。
ごめんごめん。驚かすつもりはなかったんだ。君はひなみ沢の人かい？
I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious gaze, he introduced himself without my prompting.
僕は富武。フリーのカメラマンさ。ひなみ沢にはたまに来るんだ。
I didn't ask you who you were.
写真ってのは被写体に断ってから撮るのが礼儀なんじゃないんすかね。
ごめんごめん。メインは野鳥の撮影でね。断った試しがないんだよ。
Do I look like a bird? Road to Dawn, thank you for the 3 years.
Let's go.
Don't use that stupid 5 and 10 emote. So what? You're saying I'm the same as the birds?
いやいや、夕闇に黄昏れる少年があまりにも絵になっていたんでね。本人の許可を取らずにファインダーを覗いたことを謝るよ。
Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intentions of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself.
ケイチ君、待たせてごめんね。
Uh-oh.
もう終わりにするから。
Why'd the music stop? Rena popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand.
連れがいたのかい？
Oh, never mind. You have someone with you.
彼女はあんなところで何をしているんだい？
That's what I wanted to
さ
know.
あね、昔殺して埋めたバラバラ死体でも確認してるんじゃないですか。
Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh, I responded like I would if I were talking with Rena and the others.
嫌な事件だったね。腕が一本まだ見つかってないんだろ？
What? That was real?
ケイチ君お待たせ。
馬に蹴られる前に退散するかな。驚かせてすまなかったね、ケイイチ君。
Tomitaka-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit.
ケイチくん、怒ってる？どうしてだろう？
It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to brush it off for now.
どうだった？掘り出し物は見つかったか？
聞いて。あのね、あったの。ケンタくん人形。
ケンタ君人形？
Colonel Sanders?
お手あれか？ケンタ君フライドチキンの店の前に必ず置いてある
Kentucky Fried Chicken?
あの等身大人形の？
そう、ケンタくん。はあ、かわいい。お持ち帰りしたい。
She thinks Colonel Sanders is cute? I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but well, she seems to want it.
あれはゴミだろ。お持ち帰りしたきゃしてもいいんだぜ。
他の山の下敷きになってるの。簡単には掘り出せないしあそこ明かりがないからすぐ暗くなっちゃうし。
Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back.
俺も手伝ってやるよ。今日のうまかった弁当の恩返しってことでさ。
So what the fuck was it about that random corpse? We're just gonna ignore that?
ありがとう。
Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us.
ケイチくんが手伝ってくれる。ケンタくんはお持ち帰りできる。は
Rena might be part furry. She keeps howling a lot. Rena staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery
なあ
state.
レナ、あそこで昔なんかあったのか？
Oh shit, here we go.
ダムの工事をやってたんだってね。詳しく知らないけど。
例えばさ、工事中になんかあったとか、事故とか。
知らない。
Oh. I don't like the way she answered that. That was way too flat. Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression.
実はね、去年までよそに住んでたの。
レナも転校生だったのか？
Liar!
俺はてっきり。
だからね、それ以前のことはよく知らないの。
Why are you fucking lying,
ごめん
bitch?
ね。
Don't really know, don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course, it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. If it's just like Tomitaka-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. Maibara Manor. Maibara Manor. That's our house, right? The Damn Site Murder Dismemberment Newspaper Edition. Okay, hang on. I kind of want to see this. Holy shit, Toho Sniper, they were a huge raid as well. Welcome, Raiders. From June XX 1979 edition. The Shishibone City Okinomiya Okinomiya Police Station. June XX late at night. Suspects XXXX, XXX, XXXX, XXXX, XXX were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender, XXXX, has been added to wanted lists nationwide. According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction site workroom on the XX at 9 p.m. where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer, XXX, as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. On the XX at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by Shishibone City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. XXXX. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of rage or anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies, the investigation is ongoing. But why would the girls be hiding this? Okay.
ケンタ君人形？ああ、そりゃあレナのツボだわな。
レナがサトコやリカちゃんをお持ち帰りしたくなるのはわかる。だがケンタ君人形だけは理解できないぞ。あんなメガネ。
そりゃあレナに直接聞けばいいじゃん。
Read the other tips? Well, I think Blood said yesterday I don't have to read them as they come out. I can just read them later. I'm just reading the ones that interest me at this moment.
どうせだって会員だもんしか言わないだろうけどさ。
レナはよくあそこ工事現場のとこへ宝探しに行くのか？
ちょくちょく見に行くって言ってましたです。
しかし年頃の女の子がゴミ漁りね。
レナが楽しいならいいんだと思い
So
ます
Rena's
で
the
す。
prime suspect right now. She's the only one who's had a sussy moment. So instead of Rena being the one dying because she's so, like, innocent, it might be that the innocence is a cover for her dark secret and she's, like, actually evil.
あそこはなんだよ？ダムの工事現場だったのか？
And I've been bugging me since yesterday like an itch I couldn't scratch.
何年か前に中止になっちゃったけどね。
みんなで力を合わせて戦いましたです。ふむ。
Hearing an always word like fuck come from Rika-chan's mouth startled me.
そうそう。何しろとんでもない話だったんだよ。ひなみ沢が丸ごとダム湖に沈むことに一方的になってさ。
So I'm only able to be here because the protest succeeded. Which girl is burned? I'm pretty sure it's Rika.
ごめんねごめんね。
How can you not tell who burned is? It's obviously Rika.
待たせちゃったかな。申し訳ありませんわねケイチさん。お化粧直しに時間をかけちゃいまして。
さあとこ便所には溜めてから行け。一気に出せて楽で早いぞ。
花も恥じらう乙女になんて口の利き方。
Okay, relax, buddy. Have you seen the way you look, Satoko? Who was she calling a maiden? If Satoko really was a maiden, she wouldn't have reacted like that. The usual hijinks ensued.
さてと、今日は快速に乗っ取り部員の諸君に是非を問いたい。彼前原圭一君を新たな部員として我らの部活動に加えたいのだがいかがだろうか。
レナは異議なーし。近隣風情が私の相手を務められるかしら。僕もサトコも賛成しますですよ。
The three that Mion had queried voiced their approval.
全会一致。おめでとう前原圭一君。君に栄えある我が部への入部試験を許可する。
Entrance exam?
順を追って説明しろ。俺はまだ入るとは言ってないぞ。何の部活だ？
我が部はだな、複雑化する社会に対応するため 活動ごとに提案されるさまざまな条件か、時には順境、あるいは逆境からいかにして。
レナは弱いからいじめないでほしいな。仲良くやろうね。
That's
レ
a
ナさん甘えて
listen.
ますわ。
I'm seeing right through Rena. She's just acting this way. She's probably crazy.
弱い者は食い尽くされるのが世の常なのでございますわよ。
This is starting to sound a bit sketchy. Yeah, she's a freak. So what kind of club was it?
つまりみんなでゲームして遊ぶ部活なのです。
Oh no. This is how it starts. It's like some crazy shit. Crazy games. Rika-chan was the only one to answer my question with a pertinent response. So basically this club put Mion's hobby of collecting games to use. By playing the various games that Mion had hoarded every day, it seemed that depending on the day, there were prizes for the winner or a penalty for the person who finished in last place.
先に断っとくけど、ままごと遊びみたいなレベルじゃないからね。一生いっぱいに命がかかってるくらい本気でかかった方がいい。
ふむふむ。
楽しくやれればいいじゃないか。そう凄むなよ。
快速第一条、狙うのは1位のみ。遊びだからなんていういい加減なプレーは許さない。
快速第2条、そのためにはあらゆる努力をすることが義務付けられておりますのよ。
The way Satoko said it, it sounded like she was saying use any means necessary.
もちろん僕も頑張りますです。レナも弱いけどね、精一杯頑
Right,
張っ
she
てる
keeps
の。
calling herself pretty weak. I feel like that's a way to throw you off. I knew what they were trying to say. In a game where everybody's aiming for the top, it's rather unsportsmanlike to play just for fun.
よし、俺も本気でやってやるぜ。
With that, I was finally ready for the rite of initiation, my baptism into the club.
ケイちゃんに一応忠告ね。レナも結構えげつないからね。
That's what I knew it! This initiation looks like it's going to be rough. Mion began fishing around in the student lockers in the back of the room. They have the games here at the school. Well, it's club equipment, so I guess that's fine.
難しいゲームはケイちゃんだけに不利だからね。今日は誰にでもわかるゲームにしよう。スタンダードにトランプのジジ抜きはどう？
よし、受けてやるぜ。
やっぱり罰ゲームがないと燃えないよね。今回はビリに顔面落書きの刑。どう？
Yeah, that doesn't seem that bad of a
優勢じゃない
punishment.
よね。優勢じゃないよね。
Permanent? She wants to draw on her faces with permanent marker?
上等でございますわ。
Satoko cheered the idea on. She didn't even flinch at the thought of such a severe penalty. It seemed like she was raring to go. If it's going to be like this, then I can't lose either.
じゃあカード切ってみんなに配るね。
Old Bachelor is pretty much the same as Old Maid. There's only one difference. There's no Joker. In its place, one card is pulled out at the start, meaning there will be one card without a match left over at the end. You don't know which card will end up being the Joker. It's a pretty thrilling game. That's a
じ
cool
ゃあ
concept.
1枚抜くね。
Mion took out one card and left it face down on the table. Everyone stared at the card intently.
ま、終盤になればおのずとわかるし、最初はどうしようもないよな。
The rest of them were very serious. They didn't seem relaxed as I was. They compared their cards to the one face down, all the while gauging each other's reactions. It was as if they could see what the face down card was. No, it couldn't
こ
be.
のトランプ、結構傷物だろ。まさかみんなにはその傷でそこに伏せたカードが分かってる？
快速第2条ですわ。ケイチさんも勝つために最善の努力をなさいませ。いくつかのカードは特徴的だからケイチ君にもすぐ覚えられるよ。
She said that so matter of factly.
上等だぜ。この程度でハンデになると思うなよ。
I lashed out angrily, but it was rather obvious I was at a disadvantage. After all, they'd gone so far as to memorize the wear and tear for each individual card. This wasn't a simple game of Old Bachelor. if this was a test, then they were playing with the answer sheet in front of them. Bring it! I'll take the advantage of your carelessness and beat you at your own game. That baseless confidence would soon be crushed.
ケイちゃんの手札を右から言うぜ。3、4、9、ジャック、クイーン。
ちなみにジジはダイヤの J なのです。
They're fucking cheating!
どうカードを入れ替えたって見え見えですわ。上がりですな。
I thought I was prepared, but for it to be this brutal, just overwhelming.
鬼だ。こいつらは鬼だ。レナは鬼じゃないよな。
ごめんねケイチくん。こっちがハートの3だよね。上がり。
Not even a hint of mercy, Rena, even Rika-chan. These club activities weren't to be trifled with. An alumnus of this club would definitely survive in the cruelest of situations. If our entire class had self-detonating collars strapped to their necks and were dropped into a death match on a deserted island, is this a fucking Battle Royale reference? These guys would probably take to it like fish to water. I can already picture their joy as they hunt down each of their classmates.
ポイントは減点制ね。着順がそのままマイナス点。トータルで一番少ない人が優勝。
ではケイチはビリなので5です。
There's already a 5 marked down on my scoreboard.
やっぱりさ、綺麗なトランプでやらないとケイチくんに不公平だよ。
True?
いいのいいの。ケイちゃんだって男だし。
What's a man gotta do with anything? This is
これ
sexism.
くらいの逆境は跳ね返せるよね。
貧民風情は逃げ帰って涙で枕を濡らすのがお似合いでございますことよ。
The fuck you say, bitch? A petite hand laid itself on top of my hand, just trembling from uncontainable frustration. It was Rika-chan's.
ファイトオーです。
Thanks to Rika-chan's word of encouragement, I was able to calm down. You need to be calm, especially when you're cornered. That's the power I could muster during this crisis. Think clearly, Keiichi Maebara. Take your time and look at the cards carefully. It's just as Rena said, several of the cards have their own distinct markings, making them stand out. Memorizing them should be pretty simple. Think about what you can do in this situation. Try everything in your power to improve your chances of victory.
わあ、うまいよケイチくん。その調子。
I covered the uniquely marked cards with my hands or other cards, arranging them in such a way that they couldn't be seen.
角が割れているのは5だったはずです。上がりましたです。
Couldn't let any of those precious hints slip by me. All information is a weapon. Then it was my turn. Satoko fanned out her cards for me.
欲しいのは7なんだが、これかな。
さてどうかしら。聞いてみないとわかりませんことよ。
There was a bit of dismay in her expression, like she doesn't want to take in that kind of expression. I won't let momentary lapses slip by me. It could be a bait, Keiichi.
見えた、これだ。
Got it, 7 of spades. Oh, cheer of ooh rang out.
なんですって。7は一番わかりにくいはずですのに。
It wasn't for memorizing the markings. Those slight changes in their expression as I was selecting a card were enough.
ほらケイちゃん隠さない。この傷が確かダイヤの2だったよね。あれ？
Oh, she was startled by her own misread. Of course, everyone else was too.
ああ、みーちゃんがカード間違えるなんて珍しいね。
違う。ケイちゃん。あんた、まさか。
They told them apart by different marks. That mark was a nail scratch, so I put a new one on it.
ダイヤの2を偽装したというですの？味な真似をするでございますわ。ケイチ、一矢報いましたです。
Clap, clap, clap.
やったねケイチくん。大前線だよ。
Having defeated the Forerunner Mion, my brilliant battle left me ecstatic. But by total points, it was already set in stone that Mion would win and I would finish last. I laughed haughtily, selecting the tone of my voice carefully to get on Mion's
まあ
nerves.
ビリは確定だけどさ、最後にミオンから1本取れたから大体
That should be the proverbial slap in the face to Mion, who was at the top already and ensured victory.
この回仮にケイちゃんが1着になってもトータルビリが確定するんだけど、
当たり前だ。
一騎打ちしようよ。ワンチャンス勝てたらケイちゃん1位で私ビリの大逆転なんてどう？乗るでしょ？
She fell for it. A chance for an upset that wouldn't be possible without goading her into it.
ワンチャンスだと？ルールを説明しろ。
Mion discarded 2 cards from her hand and replaced one with the Joker card that was on the table, then shuffled the resulting hand behind her back.
右手のカードと左手のカード、どっちがジョーカーか当てたらケイちゃんの勝ち。
今後ろに回した時ジョーカーを抜いたってことはないだろうな。
ケイちゃんが負けたら反対の手のカードも公開するよ。それなら OK でしょ。
The other 3 gulped nervously at this unexpected turn of events.
よし乗ってやる。
Mion grasped 1 card in each hand and thrust them out at me. First, I need to inspect them closely. The card on the right had no distinguishing marks. I couldn't tell which one it was.
どっちだろう。ケイチ君、慎重にね。
ああもちろんだぜ。逆転の大チャンスだ。
Looking closely at the card on the left, I saw a little wear. It wasn't one I hadn't seen before.
あのカードは。
I didn't let that bit from Satoko slip by me. Mion clucked her tongue. I didn't recognize the mark on the left card from the small number that I had memorized. I didn't know what the left card was, but I could tell from Satoko's reaction that the card had already appeared during the game. Since it had already appeared before, it meant it definitely wasn't the Joker.
ケイちゃんは右のカードを疑ってる。じゃあ右にする？右？
The left card definitely wasn't the Joker. If I could trust that theory, then I should have been able to declare that the card to the right was the Joker, even without Mion's taunting. The one on the right was the most suspicious. But wasn't it a bit too rash to decide based solely on Satoko's reaction? More carefully. Ah, I remember now. That mark, the left card, no doubt about it, the 7 of clubs.
うん、きっとクローバーの7だね。
I've won. The card on the left was the 7 of clubs, so that meant the card on the right was the Joker. And then just before my hand touched the card, I froze.
さすがミオンだよ。
There was a wave of murmurs amongst the onlookers. Did she even put a mark as well?
ケイチさんは何を言ってるのでございましょう。だって左。C です。
へえ、ケイちゃんはどうして右がジョーカーじゃないって確信できるの？
Mion let loose an unexpected question. Everyone else was baffled.
右のカードが何かは俺にもわからないさ。だが左のカードがクローバーの7だってことだけはわかる。
じゃあ残る右のカードがジョーカーなのじゃありませんこと？必ず左右どっちかがジョーカーって
Unless
約
she
束でし
marked
ょ？
the Joker to look like the 7 of clubs.
ああ左右のどっちかにジョーカーがあるのは本当だろうな。
ケイチは勘がいいです。リカちゃん、それってどういう？
つまりさ、クローバーの7はさっき俺がサトコのスペードの7と合わせて捨てたカードなんだよ。
Everyone's attention snapped to the discarded pile at the same time. The truth of the matter couldn't be discerned from that sloppy
つまり
pile.
ミオンは捨て札を1枚拾って左のカードに重ねている。つまり
Oh, never mind. She didn't mark it.
わかった。左のカードをクローバーの7に見せかけているんだね。
It was the first time since the start of the match that a shadow ran across Mion's expression, and I didn't let that slip by. Then, with a grand flourish, I declared it loudly.
ジョーカーは左手だ。
There was an intense moment. That 1 second felt like an eternity for everyone there. Breaking that silence, the first one to speak was Mion.
初代部長として私も様々なプレイングを見てきたけど、ケイちゃん、あんたはベストだよ。ベストオブザベストオブザベスト。
That was probably the greatest compliment Mion could give. Mion accepted her defeat, dropping the card from both hands. My comeback victory. Rika-chan placed her hand on my head and began petting it, congratulating me on my victory.
リカちゃんか？
Rena and Satoko gaped at us as if they had seen a
なん
ghost.
だよレナ、別に俺はインチキしてないだろ。正々堂々と。
リカは慰めるときにしか頭を撫でませんの。
Oh, I was wrong? What's the meaning of? At that moment, Rena let out a small shriek.
ケイチくん、こんなことって。
ケイちゃんならさ、ここまで読んでくれると思う。
Everyone froze. Oh no, she fucking mind gamed me.
賭けだった。ケイちゃんがおてんばさんの早とちりだったなら、負けてたのは私だった。
It was the answer everyone was certain about. Mion picked up the card from the losing
ケイちゃん
hand.
もさ、この負けを誇っていいよ。
She turned it around. That was the card that proclaimed the victor of this duel. Card under the 7 of clubs. Unbelievable. It was the 2 of diamonds. It was a setup behind the setup. If I just picked the right one without reading so deeply
部
into
長
it.
園崎美音の名において前原圭一あんたの我が部への入部を許可する。
As I slumped to my knees, dazed, everybody let out a round of applause for the excellent effort I gave despite my defeat.
これにて決着。本日の優勝は私、園崎美音。栄えあるビリは前原圭一。
Everyone made a commotion, applauding cheerfully. I felt I was bested, but I was so soundly beaten that I unexpectedly felt rather refreshing.
みーちゃんが後ろ手で細工したとき、またやるんだって思ってドキドキしちゃった。ケイチさんが正解に触れる直前で止まったときにはかかったって思いましたわ。見事に引っかかってくれましたです。
Huh? Hey, wait. All of them knew from the start and still got so excited so earnestly?
楽しくなるようにみんなで盛り上げましたですよ。
They're fucking paid actors!
お前らみんな鬼だー。人手なし。
さて、ケイちゃんに罰ゲームだね。今日は部活の初日だし、ソフトに行こうかね。いきなり登校拒否になられちゃ困るし。
The other 3 members held down my arms and shoulders firmly. Mion approached, licking her lips. What? Her right hand went to pull something out of her pocket. That's a felt tip marker, and it's a giant permanent one.
さて、行くよ。
She took the cap off the marker and brought it slowly up to my face while I was immobilized.
いや、やめろー。
I let out my death throes. Okay. Still, nothing bad has happened yet. I'm surprised. Bro, you lost a game? That's terrible. Oh, fuck you. As soon as the club activities were finished, Rena flew off. Probably as she could dig out that cute Colonel Sanders that she wasn't able to take home yesterday. So today it was just Mion and me walking home together, a rather rare occurrence.
宝の山か。捨ててる連中もまさかレナに感謝されてるとは夢にも思わないだろうね。
Well, a treasure meeting that damn construction site from before. Oh right, Mion would probably tell me. That murder by dismemberment that seemed to have happened there. Oh god, here we go.
あそこさ、ダムの工事現場。なんかあったんだろ昔。
そりゃあったよ、戦いが。座り込みやったりデモをやったり。
It was a bit different from what I wanted to hear, but I decided I'd listen just the
自
same.
分たちの土地がダム湖に沈むんだもんな。俺だって戦うだろうな。
役人どもは本当に一方的だった。偉そうで威張ってた。金で解決できないと悟ると、あらゆる嫌がらせをしてきたんだよ。いやらしい奴らだった。
Mion spoke excitedly as if something or the whole thing was happening right in front of her.
よく勝てたな。相手は国だろ。
村長や村の有力者たちがね、方々に陳情した。 東京にも行ったし、いろんな政治家に根回しもした。そうしてるうちに計画は撤回されたんだよ。私たちの完全勝利だった。
暴力沙汰とかにはならなかったのか？傷害事件とか殺人。
Oh god.
なかった。
She promptly cut me off. The same as Rena had. Her words signaled the end of discussion. Tomitaka-san said one arm wasn't found in the incident. I thought that a murder by dismemberment had occurred, but I guess I was wrong. My curiosity unsated, I sighed dejectedly inside.
じゃあね。また明日ね。ケイちゃんそれ、うちに帰るまで消しちゃダメだからね。
わかってるよ。消さねえよ。
Mion held back her laughter while stealing glances at my face. I wonder what kind of nasty doodles they drew. Damn you, Mion, you shall rue this day. If our roles are ever reversed, I'm going to go all out. All over your face so you won't be able to take it off even with a scouring pad. Why does no one want to talk about the fucking damn murder? Upon arriving home, I ran straight into my mom, embarrassing myself yet again. The mood I'd come home to was already on edge. It's not an uncommon thing in our family. Whenever Dad can't come up with a good idea, it always ends up like this. He stomps around the house with his arms crossed. Mom whispered into
お
my
かえり
ear.
ケイチ。お父さん大変そうだからそっとしてあげてね。
またアイデアに詰まったわけ？
今回は締め切りが重なったからね。お父さん充電期間がないと大変だから。
Dad's paintings feed our entire family. If he runs out of ideas, then it's the end of the Maebaras. We've never gone hungry before. Could it be that my dad is a master painter?
家の中をうろうろしないで表に散歩でも行った方がアイデアが出るんじゃねえの？
今回は生活空間がテーマだから、お父さんこの家をモチーフにしたいみたい。
It's quite a bothersome motif.
エイジ、部屋の中を少しは片付けなさい。
ごめん後で片付けるよ。
Ah, come on, please don't use my room as a motif.
ケイチ、お夕飯までまだ時間があるから表でも散歩してらっしゃい。
Dad's moods are only temporary. As soon as he gets an idea, his mood improves and he starts humming. Until then, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just go take a walk so I don't aggravate him further.
じゃあそうするかな。
Something's gonna happen. I said I was going to take a walk, but I didn't have any particular destination in mind. I just need to kill some time. I got on my bike and pondered where to go. I could just go to read at the bookstore, but it would take an hour by bike to just get to town. It would be dark by the time I get back, so I didn't want to go unless I had to. The road at night here in Hinamizawa creeped me out. If Mion and Satoko ever found out about that. I smiled wryly. Oh yeah, Rena was probably still at the Mountain of Treasure, the damn construction site. The excavation of Colonel Sanders was probably taking her a while. It wouldn't be so bad to have her owe me one.
次の部活の時に恩返ししてもらえるかもしれないしな。
With a little bit of self-interest in mind, I set off towards the damn construction site. If I met him again, I'd like to ask for more details. To ask, was there really a dismemberment here in Hinamizawa? That was my real intention. My god, Golden Gate Bridge? I spotted Rena struggling up on the slope of the garbage pile. It looked like Colonel Sanders was lodged in there pretty firmly. Didn't look like Rena would be able to excavate him by herself. Realizing that Tomitaka-san wasn't around, I began climbing down the slope
よーレ
unsteadily.
ナ、精が出ますな。
ケイチくん、どうしたのこんなところへ。
A place like this, huh? I see. She was aware of it at
事故
least.
発生の緊急通報を受け参上しました。負傷者はどこでありますか？
事故って、
健太くん人形が ゴミ山に生き埋めになっているとの通報でしたが。
なんだ、びっくりした。ケイチ君脅かさないでよ。
冗談だよ。レナが一人で困ってるだろうなって思ってさ、手伝いに来てやったんだよ。
レナのために。
Well, I filled my quota for today. If I don't see Rena blush at least once a day, then I'm not getting my daily required nutritional intake. What?
冗談だよ。こっちまで恥ずかしくなるだろ
冗談ってどこからだろう。
I just ignored her. I just ignored her
う。ほれ、どい
bewilderment.
たどいた。
で、どこだよ健太君は。
あ、ごめん。ほら、この隙間から見える？
こりゃ本当に生き埋めだな。
Colonel Sanders was sideways, surrounded by boards and other construction materials, like they were caging him inside. According to Rena, it wasn't like this yesterday. Seems as though another illegal dumper came yesterday, dumped again, and now he's buried like this.
この山を一人でどけるつもりだったのか？
Oh, babe, our pizza's outside. You trying to move this pile all by
その
yourself?
細い腕で。
There's no way she would be able to do that with her slender arms.
でも、ケンタ君人形かわいいんだもん。お店のケンタ君には鎖がついてるけど、これならお持ち帰りできる。はう。
If Rena gave up on this Colonel Sanders, she'd probably start devising a plan to steal the one in front of the store. As Rena's guardian, I won't allow her to sully her hand with
どいてろ
crime.
よ。俺がやる。
Rena blushed again, but this time I left it alone. The pile was enormous. Also, the more days we wasted, the more likely another illegal dumping would occur. If it got buried any deeper, there would be nothing that could be done.
ケイチ君、レナも手伝えるよ。
帰って邪魔になるから下がってろって。よいしょー。
Pulling out scraps, bending them, tossing them aside, I quickly became covered in sweat and dust. Flying objects drew beautiful arcs across the twilight sky, one after another. Lumber, timber, plywood, damn it. No matter how much I threw out, there was still more. Even though I could see Colonel Sanders right there. After grandstanding like that in front of Rena, I felt frantic because of how little I had
本
progressed.
気でやるなら、斧とかノコギリとかがいるかもしれねえな。
もういいよ、ケイチ君。すごい汗だよ。そんな無理しなくてもいいよ。
レナのためにやってるだけだ。気にするな。
Rena began sputtering and turned beet red. Ah, whoops. I meant to say I was trying my best so as to keep her from becoming a criminal. Oh well.
さすがに休憩。こいつは手強いぜ。
I sprawled on my back over the grassy slope.
ごめんね、ごめんね。すごい汗だく。
Rena patted her handkerchief against my forehead. It felt pretty nice.
あのさ、ちょっとここで休んでてね。私、家近いから。麦茶とか持ってきてあげるね。
Leaving the handkerchief on my forehead, Rena took off running. The cries of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. After I was certain that Rena was gone, I picked myself up and headed towards what I discovered earlier. There was a garbage pile of magazines and newspapers bound up in twine. Uh-oh. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe it was around here. There it was. They were bound stacks of not-so-reputable tabloids. They were stacked chronologically, going back quite a few years. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. If it was just as Tomitake-san said, then undoubtedly there would be mention of the murder. These are troubled times. There's no end to these sickening incidents. There's a large part of society drawn in by these incidents as well, so it had to be recorded somewhere. I unfastened the packages and opened the rain-soaked pages carefully, looking over the table of contents. Not here. Next one. Not here. Next one. It was hard to search since I didn't know when it happened. I didn't know who the perpetrator or the victim was either. I only knew it had happened here. I looked up every so often, checking to see if Rena had come back or not. I wouldn't want her to see me gawking at a dirty magazine, but it wasn't just that. Both Rena and Mion said they didn't know, but it had happened without a doubt, as long as Tomitaka-san wasn't lying. That if Rena and Mion, yeah, there was. If they had just said that, then I wouldn't have gotten so hung up on it. An incident that neither Rena nor Mion wished to talk about. Trying to uncover it after they tried to conceal it out of good intentions. That made me feel like I was acting against my friends. Hinamizawa dam worker lynching, murder by dismemberment. Here it is. The featured article was in the back, and it seemed that there was a photograph in the colored pages at the front. The pages of the featured article were stuck together and weren't easy to open. Rena could return at any moment. Feeling rushed, I gave up and opened the photograph page. The police investigators were carrying a body bag, and newspaper reports were all bathing it in camera flashes. The image was blurry and hard to understand, but I could definitely make out the headlines. A tragic nightmare at the Hinamizawa construction site, lynching and murder/dismemberment. The victim was the site foreman. He had assaulted his assailants daily with an explosive backlash from his daily actions. It's a horrible image to see the site foreman as it happened. It really did happen. Seemed the details were on the next page. I turned the page without pausing. On it was: the assailants butchered the victim's body with hatchets and pickaxes, then used an axe to split the cadaver into 6 pieces: the head, arms, legs, and torso. I could understand just from the headline that it was just too terrible an incident. Normally, a lynching is just assault and murder, right? Dismemberment with hatchets and pickaxes? That wasn't a lynching. It was a merciless killing to the letter, a brutal murder. Done by a group of people, with hatchets, with pickaxes, with a hatchet. Rena dropped the hatchet she was holding onto the grass after being startled by my voice.
ケイイチくんね、さっきほら斧とかがあると便利だって言ったじゃない？それでね、レナ、物置からちゃんとナタ持ってきたんだよ。
Rena fluttered her arms in panic, continuing to explain and apologize. It seemed I'd been glaring at her pretty intensely.
ごめん。ちょっとオーバーに驚きすぎたかな。
こっちこそごめんね。
Don't let her see the newspaper, Keiichi. Night was drawing close. I was pretty worn out and wouldn't hurt to do the rest
最後の
tomorrow.
針はそのナタじゃないと壊せそうにない。せっかく持ってきてくれたんだし、明日借りるよ。な。
何しょんぼりしてるんだよ。明日には健太くんが掘り出せるんだぜ。
そうだよね。
Sus.
早く健太くんをお持ち帰りしたい。
We both knew that it was useless to apologize any more than that. I quenched my thirst with the barley tea Rena brought and wiped off the sweat that had now gone cold. We took the path to head home. I felt quite guilty about the tabloid wrapped up in my jacket. Yo, these awkward silences are fucking creepy, man. Ooh, special tabloid report. The Hinamizawa Dam Project. Nightmare befalls the Hinamizawa Dam. Lynching and murder dismemberment. On X day of X month in XX prefecture at the Hinamizawa Dam construction work site in Shishibone City, a bone-chilling gruesome murder/dismemberment. Even though this case has shocked the archipelago, the police will give no details on the case. Exactly what happened at the Hinamizawa Dam. They probably didn't mean to kill him at first, but as the victim resisted by swinging around a shovel, the rest of the perpetrators armed themselves in return, and it quickly escalated to homicide. So said the aforementioned investigator A. After this bloody tragedy was over, they were left with a body which nobody could have mistaken as alive. XX-san had tormented the suspects daily with his rough behavior. At first it was meant to be payback. All the perpetrators were horrified by their deed, and one even turned himself into the police. It was the de facto leader of this group, XX, who suggested hiding the body. Reluctantly at first, they soon began to think they did not wish to be caught. The construction site had numerous places to hide the body with 6 people. They were originally supposed to hide the body and leave the area. But the de facto leader feared that the consciousness of the other 5 wouldn't be able to bear the burden, and came up with a horrifying method to keep them from turning him into the police. They split the body parts amongst each other? Oh, whoops. Wait, what? What did I just do? Oh, okay. He devised a heinous method of splitting up the body among them and making each of them responsible for hiding a piece. XX had turned a simple manslaughter into gruesome dismemberment and forcibly involved each perpetrator in order to create a sense of unity between them. Each one participated, but what does this mean? Person A spoke out reluctantly. XX had ordered each and every one of them to dissect a piece for themselves. They were hesitant at first, but nobody refused. In for a penny, in for a pound was what it meant. Thus, an unimaginable bloody ceremony began. The perpetrators wept and vomited as they performed the gruesome task. There was one person who stubbornly refused, but XX threatened them, saying nothing would change if someone else ended up dead, and he gave up in his objections. But XX's plan collapsed in the span of one night. XXX, who had refused to dissect a corpse up until the last moment, had broken down into tears at the hospital where he had been being treated for an injury sustained during the scuffle, and confessed. The criminals were arrested one after another, but the de facto leader's XX's whereabouts are still unknown. Also, the right arm hidden by XX has yet to be found. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude the law enforcement. What could the police be doing? It appears that XX has said he was going to throw the body, right arm, into the swamp. XX's car was discovered abandoned near the swamp. There were no clues to his whereabouts. XX didn't trust his companions. One cannot deny the possibility that he had expected his companions to confess to the police and use his car as a decoy. Of course, I doubt that theory. Since he has no car, one would expect him to have a limited area to which he could have escaped to. But within the station, there were rumors going around that he had accidentally slipped and drowned in the swamp when he went to throw away the body. To the locals, that swamp is believed to be bottomless. It is known as the Onikakushi, the demon's abyss, and it's said that the bottom of the swamp is connected to the hellish world of demons, the atrocious demon from hell that was XX. Could it be that he had returned to hell through the swamp? The Zijin Dragon, bringer of luck and fortune, prosperous future, ladies leaping into your arms, business success, promotions, ambition, protection from harm, not just with pachinko and horse races, but business and even love. Guaranteed or your money back. Zijin Dragon Bracelet DX One Piece. The One Piece, 27,800 yen. Holy fuck, that's expensive. That's $300. Okay, nice. All right, yes sir. We're on chapter 4 now. God damn. Well, I think that's a good place to leave off. That's it. Nope. Cause I'm playing some dinosaur game, motherfuckers.